Howdy, folks. I'm Strong Scud'em, securely saving sweet snakes.
I'm Amber.
And here are more sweet snakes, ever so sweet for us to save. They're sweet to us, maybe not sweet to everyone.
What
At
are
least they're
you?
not scorpions.
Yeah,
What am I? I don't know, Amber. What am I?
you're a shield.
I'm
You're
a shield.
shielding the snakes.
I'm shielding the snakes from the scorpions who are stinging sundresses.
Yes, the snakes are scared. They're hiding.
They are. They are. They were wearing sundresses, and that's why they're in hiding. Let's get started. Alright, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Being Disrespectful and Telling My Parents Good Luck with That When They Try to Ground Me? I live at home while going to university, and I'm in my final year, and I have a job lined up after I graduate. My parents have been charging me rent since I was 16. I have a small company that makes me about $60,000 a year, and I started it in high school. It is one of the reasons that I graduated early from high school and why I got attention from recruiters. My parents said that since I was earning adult money that I can take on adult responsibilities. I thought that was fair, so I paid for all of my own stuff starting at age 16. Not university, I got a scholarship, and the rent they charged me was minor, $300 a month. But I basically considered my room to be completely mine after that. I kept it tidy because I like it that way. But they had no say in when I cleaned it, when I did my laundry. Other than that, not to do it at a time when I would disturb my family, for example at 3 a.m., I brought food for myself and I ate what I wanted. They tried to say that I was separating myself from the family, but I saw it more as having my own schedule. This year for spring break, I went down to Mexico with my friends. My parents were upset because they were hosting a big Easter dinner family get together. When I got back, they said that I was behaving badly by not being around for the family gathering. I said that it was my last spring break in university and that I was not responsible for their schedule. They said that I was grounded, and I laughed and I said, good luck with that. I went to my room and I locked the door. They tried banging on it for my attention, but I'm done. My grandfather came over to talk later, and he is the one who helped me to get my company started and is always there for me. He said that I was rude to my parents when they were trying to be there for me. I asked him how much rent he had charged my mom when she lived at home, and he said it was ridiculous to think that he would charge his kids rent, and I told him that I've been paying rent for 4 years. He went into the house and I heard a fight. When he came out, he said that I need to treat my parents with more respect, but that since they are my landlords, they do not have a say over how I spend my time. I'm avoiding my parents for now, and I'm renting on an Airbnb right now until I graduate. I took everything that was important to me, and I left $600 for the last 2 months that I had planned on being there. They kept calling me, but I'm currently getting ready to move for my new job. I don't have the energy to deal with them. Alright folks, what do you think?
Not a jerk. OP was a paying tenant. You don't get to make your tenants skip their spring break and go to family Easter.
Well, I think the grandfather was under the impression that the parents were probably doing all this stuff for them and helping them out, and then turns out that he's been supporting himself and essentially acting as an emancipated adult for the last 4 years. Like, come on, really? Like, the parents need to get a grip. Like, he's an adult. You wanted him to be an adult and have adult responsibilities. That means that you can no longer dictate what they can and can't do.
Exactly. Well, and since he's legally an adult, OP can't ground him. Like they can't ground OP anyway. OP
Yeah.
can leave. It's up to him.
Yeah, it's not like you can call the police and be like, our son ran away from home. He's 22. He didn't run away from home. He left. There's a big difference between those two concepts. Yeah, I think that they lost the high ground there, especially once their grandfather found out. He doesn't seem happy about that.
No.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Dirty Brizzle says, not the jerk obviously, what's the business? And OP replies, it started out as drop shipping, but then turned into an import business with Chinese suppliers. And Nomad5926 says, pretty nice. I was thinking of starting up something similar, but are you able to start an LLC at 16? Because otherwise, rip your taxes. And OP replies, my grandfather and grandmother helped me. And Get Your Butt Did says, do you pay your own bills, cell phone, health insurance? Do you have a vehicle? Do you pay your insurance on that? I agree that it's ridiculous to try and ground an adult, but also, maybe you're not as independent as you think you are. And OP replies, I don't have a car, and I am on my dad's health insurance. I pay for my own cell phone. I mean, a lot of people at that age are legally allowed to be on the health insurance, though, right?
Right. Until age 26, you're allowed to be on your parents' health insurance because most college students do not have jobs with actual, like, health care. And it's bogus that you have to rely on your parents to get health care.
And Hung White Boy 25 says, they tried to ground an adult who pays their own bills and works full time. Yeah, you're not the jerk, not by a long shot. Why don't you just move out? Legit, don't see a reason for you to even stay there. And OP replies, rent was cheap. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for ignoring my husband during our flight when he expressed anxiety over flying? I'm a 33-year-old female, and I recently married my husband, a 30-year-old male, and we took a 3-hour flight to Mexico for our honeymoon. I fly a lot for my job, so I've racked up a lot of miles. My husband isn't a big fan of flying, though he has gotten better and tends to just hold my hand and close his eyes during takeoff and landing. Mostly okay in the air. When I booked our flights, I requested to use my points if an upgrade to business class became available, but made it clear that I only wanted this upgrade if 2 seats became available, and then basically forgot about it. Well, then the day of the flight comes, and I was excited for the trip. I checked us in online, and all is going well, and then when we go to board, the person scanning our boarding passes stops me, says that she sees that my husband has an upgrade to business class, but only him, and asks if it is okay. I immediately say no, that we are on our honeymoon, and that we would like to stay together. But then my husband jumps in and says, no, it's fine, I'll go to business class. I look at him in complete shock, and he tells me that I fly all the time and have been in business class before, and he hasn't. So he deserves a chance to experience it. I see that we are holding up the line, so I feel like I just need to agree and get on the plane. To say that I am mad is an understatement. He is all smiles, taking his seat, and I go back to my seat, where they sit me next to an old woman with a baby on her lap where my husband should be sitting. Within maybe 5 to 10 minutes of sitting there, trying to hold back tears because my husband left me alone on our flight during our honeymoon and used my points for his upgrade, no less, he starts texting me saying that he feels anxiety over flying. I ignore the text and stop looking at my phone. Within maybe an hour after we are in the air, he comes to the back of the plane to find me, offers me half of the business class breakfast, and asks me why I was ignoring him, that he was scared and needed me to tell him that it would be okay since I am such an experienced flyer. I told him that maybe he should have thought about that before leaving me alone before our honeymoon even really began. He gets angry and tells me that this may be the only time that he gets to fly business class, and he was giving me half his breakfast and making up for it so I could at least be supportive of his genuine fear. I roll my eyes sarcastically and say thanks, and he goes back to his seat. When we land, I tried to just move on and forget about it so that we could enjoy the rest of our honeymoon. But then he guilt-tripped me about not coming and comforting him via text before takeoff, and now I'm wondering if I'm being unreasonable and should have just let him enjoy the time in business class and assure him that it would be okay. So am I the jerk? Alright folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. I mean, I'm someone who gets anxiety about traveling, but you know what I wouldn't do? Ditch Brian and go to, I mean, I've never flown. I'm too afraid of that. But, I would definitely be like stuck to Brian's side. Like, I don't care if we're like in the back with the bags or something, as long as I have Brian to like help me through it. And so like he made his choice. He is like, I'm going to abandon you on this trip that's supposed to be about the 2 of us. I'm going to go abandon you. And then like, as soon as he needs you, oh, but I need you. I need you to do this for me.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand OP's hurt here, right? And I can understand why she would feel abandoned in this situation. I mean, I think everyone's going to have different requirements and different feelings on this type of situation. Like, if somebody else were in OP's position, they might not care, right? They might not feel that strongly about flying alone. But I can understand this was their honeymoon. It was supposed to be a time for them to spend more time together. And he's already looking for excuses to get away from her, it almost seems like, right? So it doesn't seem like a good omen, if you ask me.
No, it seems like he's just concerned about having fun and he's not concerned about OP's well-being.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think that OP is being unreasonable here. I think that this is a reasonable request that she wanted to fly with her husband on their honeymoon, right? And I think that he should have listened, and they probably would have both had more enjoyable flights that way, right? Was business class really worth it if he was going to sit there and be in anxiety the entire time? Probably not. Probably not. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Pulchera Luna says, info. Did you get stuck in a middle seat in economy? If so, we ride at dawn. And OP replies, thank goodness no. I'll see. We have flown together 3 times together in the past, Florida, Vegas, and Europe, and made a deal to alternate if one of us had the middle seat. I think that the flight was overbooked and they just gave a random person in the middle seat an upgrade to business so that they could fit more people in economy. I have a status that allows me to use 500 points to upgrade if a seat is available. Usually, I don't bother putting myself on the list to upgrade, but the agent I spoke to on the phone said that she could ensure that we would be upgraded as a couple or not at all. And Goody Two Toes says, not the jerk, this is hilarious because this is the exact same thing that happened to my husband and I on our honeymoon. We argued about who should take it, both insisting that the other person should take it, and then eventually decided on trading seats halfway through the flight. It was great. We both got to enjoy first class, and then we had a fantastic honeymoon. I also have flying anxiety, and I texted my husband about it from first class, and he talked me down. You guys don't really seem like you're in a partnership at all. And OP replies, I would have been okay if you wanted to split it, halfway through, honestly. Like, as a treat for both of us on our honeymoon.
Well, I think that's the issue. It just shows a fundamental disregard for OP's comfort in this.
Mm-hmm. Well, it does seem like he just kind of considered his comfort and not OP's comfort at all, which is kind of awful. And he was like, oh, it's all about me. Me. This is the only time I'll be able to do this, right?
Yeah, well, everything was about him. He needs to have this experience. And then he has this anxiety he needs OP to mediate.
Mm-hmm. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Being Totally Turned Off by My Husband's Hobby? I am a 30-year-old female, and my husband is a 30-year-old male, and we married 5 years ago. When we met, we were in the same friend group, and we had a great social life, always doing fun things together, and he was funny and cool, and we had great chemistry. We moved away after we got married, and as expected, we started partying less and settled down. I started focusing more on my career, and I had hoped that he would do the same. We talked about saving money to have children or buy a house with a big yard, etc. Instead, he has become totally obsessed with Legos. He has some Legos before we got married. He claimed that they were expensive and collectible, and he said that he would sell them for a bit of extra cash to start our lives. At the time, I didn't really have any sort of opinion on them, as they were packed away in storage and collecting dust. He started working with a seller, but instead of selling what he had, he did the opposite, and now he can't even go a week without buying more. The spare room is totally full of boxes of Lego parts, and the shelves and tables are assembled of Legos. He's not technically hurting anyone with his hobby, and I feel so guilty, but it just makes me cringe so much. I'm so turned off by my adult husband being obsessed with toys. It just creeps me out, and I hate the plasticky aesthetic of them. When I confront him about it, he gets defensive and says that I just don't want him to have any fun or be happy, etc. It's not that I don't want him to have hobbies, but I find the one that he has childish and unattractive. I try to explain to him that there are more important things to invest in than Legos, because I don't really have the heart to tell him how turned off I am by the whole situation. I don't want to hurt his feelings, but I'm starting to actually resent him for it. My friends tell me that I'm overreacting, and most men have weird hobbies that women don't understand. But for their husbands, it's golfing or hunting or investing. All adult activities. I thought that I was marrying a man who wanted to navigate life's milestones with me, but now I'm feeling stuck with a teenager. All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I think OP is being overly harsh on her husband here. And like, it's fine if you want to part ways and if this is a deal breaker, but like, there's nothing wrong with enjoying Legos as an adult. And we really need to stop acting like there are some hobbies that are kids only and others that are, like, it's just not a good way of looking at things. And I'd rather be married to someone who plays with Legos than goes out hunting. Like,
Hmm. Well, I mean, I think everyone's going to have their own preferences on their hobbies that their partner has, right? I mean,
mhm,
it's like you, for instance, you wouldn't like hunting.
yeah.
You would prefer someone who played with Legos more than hunting.
Hmm.
And I think that everyone's going to have their preferences and whatnot. And I do think that she is being overly harsh and being overly judgmental here, right? This is just a hobby. He likes doing this with his time, right? If you wanted to marry someone who was interested in stocks and investments and stuff like that, then maybe you should have found someone else, right? Or maybe you can talk to him and say, hey, do you want to look into these other, avenues or other hobbies type of things, right?
Right. Well, I do think it sounds like the Legos came out more after the marriage,
Yeah.
which, so OP couldn't necessarily have known in advance, which is why I think it's fair if OP doesn't want to be in the relationship anymore. If this
Yeah.
wasn't a facet of him she was aware of,
Yeah.
you know. But again, you're resenting him over something that's perfectly harmless and a valid hobby, and that's not good.
Well, and I think it also depends on how much money this is costing because Legos are very expensive.
Hmm.
And if everything in that room is Lego, then he must be dumping like tons of money into this, right?
Well, and it's fine to be upset if the finances are hurting too. Obi
Yeah.
doesn't mention it, so I'm wondering if they are or not. But like, yeah, there are a lot of like there are legitimate gripes you can have with the hobby that aren't about the hobby itself.
Yeah.
Which the part that gets me is the whole it's childish. No, it's whoever wants to do it.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's my opinion here. I think that OP needs to kind of take a deep breath and decide do they, if they're unhappy with their partner for reasons, you can break up with someone for whatever reason you want, right? But they shouldn't be judging their hobbies and they should allow them to enjoy their free time how they enjoy.
Right, and don't try to change his hobbies. Like this
Hmm.
is one of his hobbies. Accept it, and like choose whether you want to continue with the relationship or not. But stop trying to bully him out of playing with Legos.
Yeah. I mean, it is good to have multiple hobbies,
Hmm.
right? So I'm not saying that OP shouldn't introduce them to other hobbies or anything like that, but I
Right.
do think like they should accept him for who he is, and that includes his Legos.
Like honestly, Legos are really kind of fun. I enjoy them whenever I've used them. So
I had a lot of fun with them when I was a kid.
I've had fun with them as an adult, playing with like little kids and stuff. Like go over to someone's house and they have kids, and like I'm on the floor playing Legos with the kids. If there isn't a cat to pet, then
If
I'm
there
with the
isn't a cat.
cat.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And CT Mom 79 says, you should check out r/Lego. There are a ton of adults that collect and build Legos. I'm an adult female and I love building with Legos. You're the jerk. If you had come here with a problem being that you were struggling financially because of his Lego hobby, that would be a different story. However, you're here because you find it childish and unattractive. I think that's pretty judgmental of you, honestly. And Hefty Bessie says, yep, I agree, you're the jerk. I'm also an adult woman. I'm 33 and I bought myself BTS Lego set. Haha. It's fun to do something crafty that's not paint or sewing. I have two boys and they work on Legos while I do my own sets. It's cool that we can do something together, but also independently. Some of the sets are really challenging and too complex. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got tea right here in amber. She has a jovial Bob sign joke, allegedly.
Lily, do the buses run on time? Lori, yeah, I guess so. Lily, no, they run on wheels.
They are not powered by time. They are only powered by gasoline and wheels. Good show, jovial Bob sign. Good show. And I have Mega Mint. Like I said, we just love to hate jovial Bob sign.
You.
All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Manic Monday, folks. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it a haiku.
Hobbies are for fun, but don't judge others because they have different joys.
I think that works. I think that works really well. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.